I'd like to say welcome to everyone. And we are grateful to have such a good group here. We have a wonderful special presenter lined up. And I'm excited to hear about our new Cub Scout program from her as well. I don't know how many times the program has changed since I've been in Cub Scouting, which has been a long time, but it seems to have changed more often in the last few years, and we've had a lot of changes in BSA anyway. So I think that's wonderful. So I'd like to start off with an opening prayer, and then followed by the Scout Oath and Law. And I've asked Jolene Levinson to lead us in the Scout Oath and Law. And I will open us with prayer. So if you prepare for prayer according to the custom that you are used to, and we'll begin. Our Father, we're so thankful for this opportunity to join together and discuss scouting, and particularly Cub Scouting in this meeting as well, and how we can help to bring this wonderful program with such good values to so many more youth and their families. And we're just, I know that there are so many that can use the core values that we offer in this scouting program, and we're grateful for those who have led in the past to bring this forward, and that it has been a timeless program in the values that are taught. We are aware of all the challenges and all of the opportunities that we have to learn and grow in our world at this time. And we want to go forward with renewed hope and faith and in the changes that can take place to make our world a better place and much more peaceful. And we pray for thy blessings to be with us. In the name of thy Son, amen. Okay, Jolene, do you want to unmute yourself? And you can turn your video on if you want so we can see you.
Okay. Scout sign. Please join me in the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Please join me in the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2.
Thank you. It never hurts to remind us of what we stand for here. All right, I'm going to turn the time over to Jake to quickly go over the membership report.
All right, just real quickly, wanted to share where we're at in membership. We just got done with our rechartering, and with recharter, we do lose a few youth. So this is our March to March comparison. If you take a look at the districts over here, our overall, we are ahead of last year at this time with 4 weeks to go for the month, but we're almost to 1% growth. And our goal is to be at 5% growth each month. So that would be about 200 kids ahead of last year to get to 5%. And I look down here, this is just where our deficit is. As of now, we got 1,200 kids to go to get to where we ended last year in youth membership. Just wanted you to be aware of where things are today. We're 20% down, and we'll chip away at that each month as we go throughout the year.
Any questions for Jake? All right, we're going to move right ahead. Do you want to say any introductory words? You don't want me to just go ahead and introduce Deb?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Deb Hildebrand is with us this evening. She's been a scouting volunteer since 2017 when her oldest joined as a tiger. She's been a den leader, advancement chair, Cub master, committee chair, unit commissioner, assistant district commissioner, Cub Scout roundtable commissioner, Nova counselor, supernova mentor. She was on the National Cub Scout Committee as part of the team to rewrite the NOVA program to be integrated into the new program. During COVID, she wrote PowerPoint slides for every requirement and a few electives for every den and shared them through Google Classrooms. She had over 4,500 leaders using them in 48 states and 9 countries. That's amazing. After having so many volunteer hats, she was asked to join the Cascade Pacific Council team as a membership growth associate, then impact and retention executive, and also the program director for their Cub Scout camp, Buttes Creek Scout Ranch, which serves 2,000 Cubs and their parents every summer. So you've done a lot in a short time. So my hat is off to you, Deb, and we'll turn the time over to you.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm going to try and share, and hopefully you guys can see it. I've had a little bit of snags here and there with my different presentations, especially on Zoom. So we'll hope that this works. So I'm going to present to you guys the Cub Scout updates. They're very big at national. It is not a new program, but I'll tell you, every single thing has been touched. So it's not entirely old either. So, you know. All right, so let's get this. All right. Oh, now I can't see you guys. I always hate that. Let's get this. Well, can you guys hear me? See, I can't even. Oh, wait, I can't see you. Sorry. The Zoom is not cooperating with me. I'm not sharing with you anyways, so let's move it over here. I'm going to move you around so I can still see you guys. Okay. Is it working? Is it working? Can you guys? Oh, no, I haven't shared it yet. Oh my gosh. There, I can move ya. Yay, it's cooperating. Don't you love technology sometimes? So I'm going to look like I'm not looking at you because my screen is, I have 3 screens. So you guys are aware. All right. Now you guys should be able to see me or see it. All right. I'm resizing so I can still see your guys' reactions and things. Okay. So the biggest thing to remember on the new updates, it's going by itself, is June 1st. So that is when everything is going to take effect. That is when all of your leaders need to start doing the new program. And all of the resources should be available before that. I'll show you the calendar as we get there. If you need to, there's my contact information. So I do work for a council. So deb.hildebrand@scouting.org. And then you'll see my number there. And I do have a another slide with this later too, if you want to take a screenshot of that later or anything. And I also have a QR code. I'm a big QR code fan for resources for you guys to access the new program. All right, so the biggest thing is when they did these updates, their main goal was fun, simple, and easy. So they wanted it to be fun for the Cubs and fun for the families, simple for any leaders or parent to present it, and just easy for them to plan, prepare, and have it ready for a kid when you have a busy week, because that's how life goes, right? So they did surveys throughout the process. So before they started the updates, they did some surveys with leaders and parents. They also did them throughout the process. So they would do a change, send it out, see how everybody liked it, and then rework it again from there. So there's about 23,000 adults and leaders that were surveyed and answered questions about how they thought the process was going. And I think we talked about some of the changes that have happened in the last several years. A lot of these retirements and things like that had happened with the belt loops. This was all part of this process. It took a little longer because of COVID and the bankruptcy to actually get it all done, but that's what we were seeing is when they were retiring belt loops and activities along the way. That's why they were doing it, was because they were in process of this whole update. All right. So the majority, you guys can still see this, should be able to see the Bobcat and everything now. Yes, yes. No? Yes? Okay. I see a couple heads. I don't see many heads. It's always easier when you see people and not a little black box. So the 4 areas that they changed was the Bobcat, the Adventures, the Weeblos, and the Awards. So basically the Bobcat was confusing because having one set of requirements for everybody was a little bit hard for anyone that was returning, because they had to do the same thing every year. So they wanted to try and change it to be more effective for all ages. So that was one of the main goals for the Bobcat. And knowing what returning scouts should be able to work on is a little simpler when everybody has different requirements every year. Okay. Let's see, the Adventures. So they wanted to make sure that they were consistent. They had the same goals in mind, right? So they wanted to make sure that they could tell how they fit into the program. Makes it more effective for families to work together. And we also took this opportunity to add a lot more electives, which a lot of families wanted, especially after those retirements happened in 2020, 21, that area. And then the Weeblos program. So it was pretty confusing for a lot of families. The biggest one is, what is a Weeblos? And is it Weeblos or Weeblo, right? But they wanted to make sure that they are very clear about what do you do when. So part of this update was that they officially separated the Weeblos and the Arrow of Light. We'll talk about some of that later. And then also, if the whole point of especially the Arrow of Light or the Weeblos Arrow of Light program is to get them ready for a troop, does it really take 18 months to do that? So they wanted to be a little bit more clear what we do when, and some of that separation made that a little more clear to make it a little easier for especially the new families coming in. And then the awards. The awards were extras. Some of them were very hard to find and leaders didn't know about them. So they actually had an attachment rate of about 1.5 overall. 1.5% of scouts actually used them, or adults actually used them. So they wanted to make sure that they could really use that, the curriculum and the focus in the entire program, not just those who happen to find it on the advancement awards page of Scoutbook. So they wanted to make sure it was just more utilized. So, all right, so here's what the Bobcat's going to look like now. It is no longer going to be a patch. It is going to be a belt loop for each rank, and then a pin for those that earn pins. So the Weeblos and Arrow of Light will continue to wear pins. So they wanted to make sure it was special, and so everybody will get to earn it. You can go ahead and keep your Bobcat ceremonies if you want, because it's designed to be one of the first things, obviously, depending on your packs or your dens. It's up to you guys. And then each year, the Bobcat requirements will change based on their age groups and things like that. And I'll show you how they align and how they work together also. So, all right. So here, and some of you guys may have been following Cub Chat Live. That's the biggest one that you're seeing a lot of these images coming out. Some of the Facebook pages are getting some not always accurate information, so keep an eye on that. But basically, the big picture is that Bobcat is required, designed to be offered first or early in the year. You may not want to offer it first if you're still doing some recruiting, but maybe October, something like that. And then also there's common themes across all of the required adventures. Okay, so you can see on the Bobcat section, it's all character and leadership. Next down from that, the next row is all outdoor requirements, personal fitness, citizenship, personal safety, and then family or reverence. And every rank will be earning 6 requirements and 2 electives. Okay, so that it's not, oh, well, if you're a Weeblos, you'll earn this many. If you're an Arrow of Light, you only earn this many. Just to make it very clear for everybody, that's 6 and 2. Easiest way to remember it, 6 and 2. And then, I had my highlight. There it is. And then look at the Arrow of Light. So the Weeblos year is still very much a Cub Scout rank, and the Arrow of Light is now designed to facilitate the transition and crossover to those Arrow of Light Scouts and the Scouts BSA. I see a chat. Is it for me? Nope. Okay. I can ignore it. I want to make sure I don't lose any questions. All right. So here's another area that we focus on, removing confusion. So like I said, that's 6 and 2, so that they can still choose 2 electives. But the program is really not designed to do all of them. I'll show you the slide of how many there are. There's actually 16 and 20, but depending on what rank you're in. So 20 is a whole lot of electives to do in addition to the requirements. And there's some integrated ways to do that, which makes it very nice for packs, especially those packs who don't meet weekly. we're going to make it a little bit easier for you guys to make everything count. All right. Get going. There we go. 6 and 2. All right. I talked about making sure I'm not losing stuff. Okay. So like I said, Bobcat is designed to be the first or one of the earliest adventures to be completed. Okay. So for Arrow of Light, the Bobcat includes things like learning the patrol method and troop visits, because it is designed to be that Arrow of Light transition. So those that have done Arrow of Light recently, the Arrow of Light had their scouting adventure, and that was the one that was really designed for crossover. So the Bobcat is kind of the equivalent of that now, but every single requirement and elective are going to be geared toward troop type activities to make them prepared to cross over. For those troops that are here, be ready early in the year, September, October or so. Goodness, it's going by itself. October or so that they can get those troop visits in at that point. They're not waiting till the winter. They're not waiting till the spring. And it is designed for crossover to happen in January or February. Okay, so here's an example of the way the adventures were better aligned to help leading combined dens. So a lot of packs out there have one tiger and a couple wolves, and they want to combine those dens because it's just easier. And obviously they get more socialization, they get more distractions, they get more practice, more fun with friends. So this way, here is one outdoor adventure requirement that you can see it. All of them have take a walk outside. Okay, some of them have 20 minutes, some of them have 30 minutes, some of them have 2 miles. So that part of it changes, but every single den needs to go on a hike. But they changed the term from hike to a walk to make it more inclusive and less restrictive for anybody that, I mean, so my council is centered in Portland, Oregon. I don't live in Portland, but there's a lot of units in Portland, and taking a hike isn't always as easy for units right in the middle of the city. So going to a park and hiking on the trails of the park, even if it's paved, that all counts. So we're not going to exclude anybody because they don't have a nature trail nearby. That kind of stuff was all taken into consideration too. Okay. And then obviously, if we take the entire pack for a walk, we can cover these, and then they'll have additional requirements based on their age that hopefully you can get here and there, get everybody at least a little something out on one outing. Okay. So you guys have all seen these pictures, yes? So these are all the national promotion for Cub Scouting. Kids are riding bikes, kids are going fishing. Oh, the Pinewood Derby, that's a favorite for all of our Cub Scouts, right? The problem is that how many of these actually got them any advancements? So when they go for a bike ride, who could get something for a bike ride? Tigers, that's it. Fishing, only the bears could earn something for fishing. And then the Pinewood Derby, nobody could earn anything for that. So they wanted to integrate all of those things into the program. So now everybody can earn something for, oh, let's go back. Everybody can earn something for bike riding. Everybody can earn something for fishing. And there's something that they can earn for Pinewood Derby, Rain Gutter Regatta, all those things that those units are doing anyway. All right, the awards. Okay, so for elective adventures, we wanted to take the existing Cub Scout awards, because like I said, about 1.5% on average. The highest percentage was 3% that people were using the awards that we offered. So they wanted to integrate them into the existing program. Most of the electives are at least a 15% rate. So they're using them a lot higher percentage of the time than the awards. So when they integrated them into the electives, that hopefully meant that they will be more likely to use these curriculums, these fun things that we could teach them, right? So they wanted to make sure that they put the STEM in every single one. So those that did NOVA program, you guys heard in my intro, I'm very big into the NOVA program. It is officially not supported by national anymore. So it's a council level thing to decide if you're going to do it. Us in our area, we're still deciding because we didn't have a great usage rate. So at the very least, we're going to rewrite it. But it is integrated into every single den. So in the past, it was Wolf and older could do NOVA. Now everybody's going to get something, okay? And I'll show you something that, but I'll show you a slide for that in a second. But basically, every single den is going to get something related to science, technology, engineering, art, or math. The A gets forgotten sometimes. All right, so here's a view of the elective adventures that are available now. So the Lions and the Arrow of Lights have a shortened year. So the Lions aren't typically going to start till at least June, maybe into the fall. And then the Arrow of Lights obviously will be crossing over in February or March. So they don't need quite as many things. So they each have 16. The Tigers, Wolves, Bears, and Webelos all have 20 electives to choose from. Again, it's not designed for them to do everything. That can get very overwhelming. But it's just a little bit of taste of things. And as a den leader, if you wanted to leave that in the hands of the kids, especially those Arrow of Light kids, you know what, go through it, see what you like in there, and we'll work on what you want to work on. We don't have to do them all. But you'll see in the lightest color at the top are old names of electives. Okay. Again, everything's been touched. So even if it has the same name or the belt loop looks the same, you're going to need to look at the book because all the requirements have been altered at least a little bit. But the top ones there are the existing ones. The ones that are a little bit, oh geez, I think there's a timer going on here. The little bit darker ones are new electives. So you can see those: A Wolf Goes Fishing, Bears Afloat, Bears on Bikes, all of those kinds of things that are added to increase our outside activity and them earning things for stuff that you're already doing. And then that bottom section is what we used to call the Shooting Sports Awards. They're officially now called Range and Target Sports. That is across the board from even scout level, trying to, I don't know, update that name. That'll be the hardest thing, calling it range and target, not shooting sports. But those will also be electives that they can earn. So theoretically, a kid that goes to summer camp could earn, you know, maybe a fishing one, all of the range and target ones, depending on their age and activity. And then they could potentially come away with a handful of other electives, just attending summer camp, which if you have a new kid, you're just recruiting in the spring, that's an amazing motivation for them. I mean, honestly, summer camp isn't about earning things, but they all like the bling. So, you know. All right, let's see. Making sure I cover everything. Okay. A little look at the books. So some of you may have seen some of these around. So they all got updated and they look pretty cool. I think the biggest thing that's very popular in most of these roundtable presentations is, wow, they say a grade on there. So a new family coming in, it's very easy for them to find the right book because it says right on there, if your kid's in first grade, you grab this book. If your kid's in third grade, you grab this book. And for our leaders, their name goes right on the front. So if somebody leaves their book behind, you're not chasing them down after you've looked in the book and they're already gone. You can look right at the book and hopefully they've written their name on it and you can get their book back to them right away. Also, you may notice the Webelos and Arrow of Light have two separate books now, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth in a little bit. And then the Lion and Tiger, well, the Tiger has seen the biggest changes. It looks very much like the Lion books used to look. They're more of that workbook size because honestly, the Tiger book was a little bit overkill for most of our first graders. So we wanted to bring that to the right grade level. We also, the Lion books used to be about 26 pages. The new books are about 69 pages a piece. So they have a lot more girth to them, a lot more content to them. They also come with the adult partner guide, which I love because I like that culture of you are there and you are helping your scout from day one. And then you'll get more volunteers, hopefully, as they progress because they're used to sitting there. They're used to being there with their kids and being a part of the program and having the fun that we've hopefully shown them from right at the Lion age. All right. Okay, like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about the Webelos and Arrow of Light book. I don't want to go too long on your time. So the Webelos book is going to be, you know, fairly similar to what it was. The Arrow of Light book is going to get an entirely separate book now. So it's going to, like I said, cover more of the advancement stuff to cross over. It's also going to include the scout rank information. Okay, so as a cub leader, you can't check off anything for the scout rank, but you can prepare them to do it soon after crossing over, because ideally they're going to be ready to do that shortly after, and then they'll get a little bit of oomph for going over to the troop. They get a rank early on. So for any troop leaders here, you don't necessarily have to give a new crossover scout their book right at crossover. So if you wanted to hold off a little bit until they earn their scout rank, they already have the information, so they can earn their scout rank and be presented that book with their scout rank. And it'll give you a little idea to make sure that they're going to stick around, depending on how your troop organizes their depending on what you give them after crossover. I know some troops are handing out the books at crossover, and if that kid kind of fizzles out, it could be a waste of money for your troop. We want them to stay, but it could be an incentive that they get their scout handbook when they make their scout rank. So, and then questions about this one. Officially, obviously, we're not going to be the uniform police, but if you have any guidance that people are asking about, well, what color do they wear now? Officially, the Webelos are wearing the blue, and they're wearing the Webelos hat and the Webelos neckerchief and all of that. They also get an opportunity to wear their bear patch, because a lot of times when they switch straight to the tan from right as they entered Webelos, they didn't get to wear that bear patch very long. So this way they get to wear their bear rank. And then they have all the old Webelo stuff that was always in the more recently in the program. When they cross over to fifth or advance to 5th grade Arrow of Light, they're going to change to the tan and the green. Officially, they don't have a hat or neckerchief. It could be up to the unit if you guys are saying, hey, them as a patrol, because we're starting to use that patrol method at Arrow of Light. Maybe they decide what hat they want to wear. Maybe they wear the green like the troop. Maybe they wear, a different color. Maybe they don't wear a hat. Maybe they go choose a color of neckerchief, but they can make those choices as a patrol, which is very cool. And officially, all of the dens can be co-ed except for the Arrow of Light den. The Arrow of Light den still has to be boys and girls, because that is how they're going to have to be in the troops. So that's, again, getting them ready for the troop. All right. I'm gonna watch for the chat. I have a question. Good timing too. While we are talking AOL, are there going to be changes to the requirements for being ready or able to join the troop? No, those changed about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And that was part of this process also. So it has already been made, the changes that are going to happen, so that we don't need to make any more now. So although there has been different merit badge and rank changes, not nearly this big, but yeah. All right, so a little change to the way they can wear their patches. Again, not a uniform police, but in the past, depending on when they earned their or joined and what ranks they earned in what order, or maybe I didn't earn my tiger, so that top was always empty, right? So they wanted to make it a little bit more simple there. So first rank goes at 12, and they just go around counterclockwise from there, just to make it easy for spacing. Actually, it's not counterclockwise, it's left, right, and then the bottom. But then there's no math or trying to figure out where your next patch goes because you don't have that top one to take the spot, right? And those that were part of the early Lion program had the diamond Lion patch, and then they went to the rectangle patch. The diamonds are coming back, so they will fit into the diamond without the Bobcat patch. They don't need that extra spot, so the Lion can take that spot and make their full diamond. All right. All right, a little look at the den leader resources. So they are all going to live in scouting.org. There's no password required. They'll be super simple to use and simple to pass on if you need to have a parent take over for a meeting or you have a new leader. They will make it easier to plan a meeting. It can be adjusted depending on your meeting location, activity level, or even the amount of time you have to plan. Okay, so this will be what the landing page will look like. You would click your den, and then you could go from there. You'd pick your adventure you're going to work on. And then here is what the page is going to look like. Okay, so you're going to be able to go in and you pick an activity card. And this is what the activity card will help you plan. Okay, so they're going to have icons on there that a den leader can glance to choose an activity that best matches their resources. Okay, so they might not have a lot of time to plan, that kind of thing. So the first icon indicates if the activity is indoor, outdoor, or if travel is required. So obviously, if it's rainy out or cold out, they may not want the outdoor activity. So you might not pick that one for this day, right? So there's going to be choices to pick from there. The second icon indicates how active the scouts will be on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 indicates the Cub Scouts will be listening, and 5 indicates they will be very active, such as playing kickball. Okay, so again, if you have, especially wolves, as a den leader, the wolves are a challenge. I may not pick 3 1s in a row because I know my wolves can't sit for 45 minutes, right? So I might say I'll pick 1 and I'll put that one first, and then I'll pick a 3, and then I'll maybe pick another 1 if I need to have that, or a 2, maybe a little bit less, and then I'll put a 5, and you can go back and forth based on your group. Or again, what resources do you have? Do I have a gym? Can I go outside? Those kinds of things. The third icon indicates how intensive the supply list, okay? So 1 indicates that there are no supplies needed, and a 5 indicates there are unique or major supplies needed, something like the Blue the Builder, where you need to have a build kit, that kind of thing, where it takes more planning to have it. Or if it's like, I don't need anything because we're just talking, or we're, you know, doing a word game or whatever. The fourth icon indicates how long it will take to prepare for the activity on a scale of 1 to 5. So 1 indicates that there is no prep needed, and a 5 indicates that there is something that needs to be done weeks prior to the activity. Okay, for example, a trip to the fire station needs to be planned weeks ahead and would be a 5. Okay. All right, and again, if it's something that I'm like, I don't have time to go to the store, I can pick it according to that too, based on how far ahead I'm planning. Or if I'm going to pass it off to another parent, then I don't want to put a lot on them, so I might put the easier stuff for them. Okay. All right. Hey, we're doing good on time. All right. So here's a little bit of the rollout timeline. So we're in early March. So it's looking like the handbooks will be out in the next month or so. Sounds like they're being bound right now at the printer. I've already got my name on the list to get the first run because I'm planning summer camp. And when you go to summer camp this summer, you're getting the new curriculum. So that's kind of what's going on right now. Those that have Cub Chat Live it's every Friday. They're doing different things. So they just did a whole Cub Chat Live on the Weeblo's Arrow of Light. We talked about what the books look like and all of that. They've done required adventures. So you can go through the old ones and go to any of the BSA Facebook pages, and you can find recordings of those and watch them anytime you want. You can always email me or call me or whatever too if you need to, but those are always recorded, and you know, anytime you're available, you can watch those. That's the biggest stuff right now. They will have the position specific training ready in about May, hopefully. And then the leader resources will be launched in May also. And then scouting.org should be all updated in June. And then July, Scoutbook should be updated for starting to enter those things, anything that you guys are doing over the summertime. So, and then, all right, so here's the QR. Like I said, I love QR codes. If you have your phone nearby, it depends if you're watching on your phone or no, but you can scan the QR, and the QR will send you to that link tree on the left. And so from there, you could click on the updates rollout, which is on scouting.org. You could check out the program updates. You could check out the Cub Chat Live. Those are on there. And then also, if you're driving or don't have the data or the bandwidth, they also have a podcast available at the Cub Chat Live. Of course, some of that, if they're showing images, won't be as good, but you know, you get what you can get. And then, like I said, you could email me or call me or text me at the email and the number anytime if you wanted to. All right, I think I talked so fast, so hopefully you all caught it because I do talk fast. Do you have any more questions? Say chat or raise your hand if they're able to do that.
That was great information. Thank you.
There is a whole lot. Yeah, they sent us to Florida for a whole weekend to do that. Luckily, it was rainy in Florida, so missing out wasn't so bad because you had to sit in the room the whole time. So. We still need this slide up, or do we want to take it down? Oh, good. I can type it in chat too, because I like to see you guys. Are the exact requirements being released with the books? Yes. So there's some floating around that are not official. I wouldn't bet money on those ones. But yes, the requirements will be all in the books. And then what's amazing about the books too is that when they release them, each page has written activities for the kids, has things to do. It also has a QR code along with each requirement. So when you look at the QR codes on the book, you'll be able to scan it as a den leader and go on your phone and see what you need to work on. It'll have videos describing any games that you need. And what's really amazing about this, and it's really good planning on national part, is that means that any updates can be done immediately. So if there's any changes, they change it online and they don't have to wait for new books to come out. You don't have to get the little inserts in your book. So it makes it much more thrifty because we don't have to wait for all those things and reprint things. So it makes it very handy for us to present that to our families. Any others? I don't think I got any more questions. No more questions? Did I just do that good of a job?
Looks like it.
Well, yay. And I have more slides. I could go a whole lot longer if we needed to, but yeah, there's a lot to see. But it's hopefully all good stuff. Makes it easier for any den leader to take over or a parent to take over. It's not going to be as overwhelming. It's not going to be, here's a big binder of the den leader requirements, just to hopefully help us recruit more volunteers, have more leaders that stay, and help us lead our program more efficiently. That's the idea. I will stop my sharing. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Deb. We appreciate
Thank
you
you.
being available to help us out with this.
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to close out our meeting, just briefly talking about council membership plan and spring recruitment. One of the things that we're looking at this year is does each troop have a feeder pack? So if you have a pack right now that doesn't have a troop to feed into, or vice versa, that's something that we're going to be working on, trying to get people placed into units or to the program, either whether that's so that you have kids that want to start younger and you only have a troop in the area, or you only have a pack and you don't have a troop that they naturally fit into. We're also looking at when you have the family packs, do you have a girl troop, the Weeblo Scouts? So we'll take a look at that and we'll try to work with units to help where we can to develop new girl troops and grow membership that way. We want to talk a little bit about Be a Scout leads and your pins. If you haven't got those all set up properly, that could be a great tool to get people into your unit, as they will look for a zip code near them. If your pin isn't there, they can't find you. So you'll want to do that through My.Scouting. We have on our plan a little bit of month-to-month ideas of what we can do to grow membership. One of those things coming up this month and next are kindergarten roundups. Of course, it's great to get kids in the program at an early age, and spring recruitment is great for getting kids to be able to go to day camp as one of their first activities. And studies show that people that go to day camp will be better retained in the program. So that's something that we're focusing on. We do have an incentive program for units. If you get 5 new Cub Scouts in your unit in the next few months, we will send one of your scouts to camp for free. We're also doing a peer-to-peer recruitment patch. So if you have a youth that invites another youth into the program and he starts or she starts, they will have an opportunity to get a peer-to-peer recruitment patch. And both of those things will be found on the Cub Hub on our website. That's utahscouts.org/Cub Hub, and you can plug in the information there as you hit those requirements, both for youth to attend day camp for free or for the patches if you have some kids that have deserved to get some of those. We do have those on hand. Our next meeting like this, we will do a fall kickoff in late July. So more info to come. We'll keep sending out information in our monthly newsletters. And if you don't have those newsletters coming to you and you would like them, you can reach out to me at jacob.bangerter@scouting.org, and we'll get you on that as well. Any final questions before we conclude tonight? on spring recruitment or on the Cub Scout program changes. All right, thanks again to Deb for joining us, and have a great night, everybody.